is on responsibility. And I thought it was a really interesting thought to consider what our responsibility is to ourselves and what our responsibility is to others, and then what is our responsibility on a global scale. And you've heard me say it probably hundreds of times, but I often use the term my 4 feet. So does anybody know what that means when I say that? Or do y'all just sit there and go, yeah, whatever?
No.
Okay, so,
I have no idea.
yeah.
No.
So my 4 feet is the space, the square that I inhabit on this planet. It is, you know, your square, your spot, your space, your energy, your personal sphere of influence over your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Okay, that's your 4 feet. Your 4 feet are your primary responsibility on this planet. So getting whatever's going on right inside yourself, balancing your mind, balancing your thoughts, balancing your emotions, responding in a way that is appropriate for an awakened person within your 4 feet is your primary responsibility in this lifetime on this planet for this soul's journey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's when I refer to your 4 feet or my 4 feet, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your responsibility, yourself internally, and how that's expressed externally. Indeed. Indeed. I say that a lot. So that means in your behavior, in your actions, in how you relate to others, and how you behave, how you respond. And that's really important because that pretty much is how everybody else sees you, is indeed. Because we can't get inside your head and see what motivates you. Wouldn't that be cool? Because I'd love to read some people's minds, and then other people's I don't want to go into. So, yeah. So, but we can assess the way that somebody relates to their environment by their deeds and their actions and their control over their 4 feet. So your first and primary responsibility is self-evaluation. Being aware of why you're behaving a particular way, and we talked about this a little bit this morning, and be aware if we're repeating certain behaviors that are not serving us or progressing us or moving us forward in our evolution, personally and spiritually. So if we say to people, geez, I know every time I like somebody in a relationship, they leave me over and over and over again. It doesn't matter. It's been that way my whole life. Well, it's time to consider the common denominator there. Pretty simple. It's really simple. And then you go, wow, maybe I'm doing something or behaving in a way, not accepting love. Maybe I'm not expressing love. Maybe I'm not communicating. It's time to look and see what's going on. What's going on that behavior is repeated over and over and over again, and that no matter how I feel like I'm acting, I get the same result. So, analysis. Sometimes we go through analysis, paralysis. So sometimes we overanalyze stuff. Why is this happening to me? I don't know why this is happening to me. Perhaps I do this, perhaps I do that. And then you don't do anything. You don't do anything with that analytical process except repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it.
Create.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's not good either. So what we need to do is analyze, yes, and then make changes in our behaviors, in our actions, in our thoughts primarily, because our thoughts create our reality, that then changes the way that we respond to our environment. Okay? So that's our 4 feet, expressing ourselves within the scope of our sphere of influence that then radiates from beyond our 4 feet. So who is affected by that analysis that we go through and the implementation of the changes that we need to make in our mind to change our reality? Everybody around us. Of course, those that are in our personal relationships, our family, our friends, and the people that we come into contact with on a regular basis. So even the bag boy at the grocery store. You know, if you're in a foul mood, you think he can't tell? He can tell. And if you're really nice to him, Don't you think he can tell that too? He's like, wow, she's really nice. So if we're really nice to everybody, then, you know, it radiates out. And then they feel like they want to be really, really nice. How many times have we gone someplace and someone's been really kind to us and extended an incredible kindness to us? And then what does it make us want to do? Pass it on. Right away, we want to pass it on. So it's infectious. Just the way negative behavior is infectious, positive behavior, positive thought is infectious. So that's part of our responsibility. Our responsibility is us. Our responsibility is to share the positive changes in our life and our influence, in our sphere of influence, in our friends, in our family, and the people around us. What is our responsibility globally? Well, if we're taking care of our 4 feet, guess what? We're taking care of our global responsibility as well. Because we're analyzing behaviors that affect our environment outside of our 4 feet. We're going to say, you know, should I take the gum out of my mouth and spit it on the ground? Probably not a good choice, right? Or how many times have you stepped over something that's sitting on the ground on the beach? You know, a bottle or a piece of garbage or something. I don't know, I want to pick that up. Somebody else left it here. Who knows what's in there? Gross. So, I mean, those behaviors that really are about our character, our decisions, our choices in our life, affect not just our 4 feet, and not just those people in our immediate sphere of influence, but also affect others on a global scale in our planet and our environment. So let's speak a little bit about our responsibility and character and choices that we make. Sometimes we make bad choices. Sometimes we know people that make bad choices. And so then what is our responsibility to that situation? You know, am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, to some degree you are. To some degree you are. If you see somebody walking towards a precipice and they're not paying attention, they're backing up, and you see the chasm and you don't say anything, guess what? You're guilty. If they fall in, you're guilty. That doesn't mean that it's your fault, but you had the opportunity and the power to say, hey, you need to stop walking backwards, you're about to fall off the cliff. That's your responsibility. Beyond that, if they're walking towards the cliff and you say, hey, look, there's a cliff, and they continue to walk, that's not on you. That's not on you. That's their journey. That's their choice. Should you feel bad about it? Maybe you feel bad about it, but it's their journey, it's their choice. So we all have choices that are our responsibility, and then we have the consequences of those choices that we make. The responsibility of those consequences is to accept them. Oh well, I made a bad choice. Am I going to say to other people, oh, it's your fault I made this choice. It's your fault, Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
No, it's my fault. I made the choices. Own your consequences, own your choices, and own your journey. That's also part of your responsibility as an awakened person. I understand the bigger picture. I understand I made a bad mistake. If it hurts somebody, then what do? Apologize. Is that horrible? No, it's not. It's taking the responsibility of your consequences and being an awakened person.
It makes you feel better.
And it frees you. It frees you.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. And I will be mindful not to repeat that behavior.
Right.
So we have a lot of responsibility. Oh my gosh. How hard is it? It's really easy because it all boils down to the first responsibility. Doing that self-analysis, being self-aware, having that internal conversation with yourself when you're making choices and decisions. Living the life that you have committed by coming here to live. An awakened life. It's that simple. So yeah, you're your brother's keeper, but mostly you're your own keeper. And as your own keeper, it's easy to be your brother's keeper because you know what's right and what's wrong and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. It's that simple. So that's my rant on responsibility. So everybody take a nice deep breath.